I don't even know where to begin. I'm getting a little emotional. A little bit of my childhood self is like going away. You're gonna enter my space. You're gonna need to just appreciate it. What an embarrassment. Who watched Unknown Number? Pick the phone up and you throw it in the creek. You're a weirdo for holding on to that. The Phillies Karen. Oh, I feel like it was hers. Welcome back to Talkin' Too Much with Hanna O'Reilly. I'm Hanna O'Reilly, and this is episode 14. How we doing, guys? How's everyone's week? Listen, I got a fall candle going. I got a sweater on, but I'd be lying if I said I wasn't sweating. It is so hot out today. I don't know what the deal is, but we're just rolling with it. I was not changing out of the sweater or the sweats. Also, I'm going to be sitting like this because my lower back hurts, and when I sit like this, it feels better. Okay, glad I got that out of the way. So I am coming back from vacation. I was in Cape May with Dylan and his family. Do we say in Cape May or on Cape May? I think it's in. Yeah, it's in Cape May on Long Island. Okay, anyway, I was in Cape May and I was there for like 5 days. I don't know. I don't feel like figuring that out. But, and I got back just in time to film the pod. So you're in luck. It was great. The weather was so good. It rained the day I was going home. I was like, bye. This guy was crying. I was leaving. Did not go to the beach once. Yeah, I walked on the beach, but did not lay out on the beach. Just how I liked it. Okay. I've mentioned this before. I'm not a beach person, but I do like the whole sitting on the water, the views, the salt air in the sky, whatever they say, the salt water in the sky, whatever. I had a great time because I did not go to the beach. So, so I went and I showed up on Wednesday, and Wednesday is the day that The Summer I Turned Pretty comes out. And, we're almost at the last episode. I cannot be missing, because if you miss an episode and you go on the internet, it's spoiled. You cannot be on your phone at all. So I said to Dylan, I'm like, listen, I'm going to have to put time aside to watch this episode, or I'm going to be out of the loop, or I can't touch my phone for the rest of the vacation, which would that have been a crime? No. God forbid we hang up and hang out. Anyway, so I'm like, Dylan's like, I'll watch it with you. And he actually, I'll give him credit. He offered to binge 2.5 seasons just to be caught up for this one episode I needed him to watch. And I was like, no, that's a giant waste of your time. I'm going to just tell you everything you need to know, which took me about 5 seconds. It's kind of crazy when you actually break down a show for someone with the details that they need. It's not that long. I cannot believe I sat through 2.5 seasons of that. But anyway, so we start watching and he's like, the acting's atrocious. And I'm like, listen, if you're going to enter my space, you're going to need to just appreciate it. Now, he's not wrong. Okay. It's not I love all the actors. Yeah, it's cheesy. It's an Amazon Prime Video. It's a chick flick type show. They're teenagers, whatever. But I will say, The Summer I Turned Pretty embarrassed me, because last week's episode being the one that I was going to show Dylan as his intro to the thing I've been talking about for months. What an embarrassment. I was like, I swear it's better than this. I swear. If you haven't watched yet, this is going to spoil it, but so fast forward. The whole episode was an ad. Okay? Belly goes to Paris. Okay, fine. Whatever. She loses her Coach backpack. She's the actress in real life. She's a Coach ambassador. Okay, I see what you're doing there. Then all of a sudden, she's using an AirTag for the entire episode. Ad for AirTag. Then Jeremiah, he's hungover. He's drinking red Gatorade. They're saying fully red Gatorade, red Gatorade. I'm like, all right, are the red Gatorade sales down? What is going on? The whole thing was an ad. Belly's running around Paris with a suitcase looking for this backpack, goes into a club with her suitcase, embarrassing, and then fights a guy for the backpack. She finds it because she has the AirTag in it. I'm like, I feel that they did this because they bought the rights to almost every single Taylor Swift song for the entire show, and now it's time to pay up. And we got to start pumping out the brand deals. So you're going to waste the one Wednesday that I'm with my boyfriend watching this on vacation to do it? Do you know how bad that made me look? Anyway, if you did miss Wednesday's episode, you're not missing anything. I could have just spoiled. If you're still here and you think I spoiled this for you, I did you a favor. Keep moving. It does nothing for the franchise. Anyway, okay. So that's that. I was not even going to give it that much time, and there we go. I did. Okay. Now, I swear we did activities in Cape May, but we also watched 2 shows, Summer I Turned Pretty, and who has watched Unknown Number on Netflix? Guys, I don't even know where to begin. Okay. Let me start off by saying it was spoiled for me on social media. I did not know what it was until I saw it on TikTok. So this is also going to be a spoiler. X out. I knew who the texter was before I started watching, but I knew Dylan didn't. So I was like, we're watching this and I want to see your reaction. Okay. Let me start by saying this. I feel that couple, Lauren and it was Lauren, right? Yeah, Lauren and whatever the guy's name was. I should know this because it was in the creepy text like 100 times. But they were too hot and heavy for being 14 years old. They're hanging out all the time. Lauren apparently doesn't have a ton of friends. She's just hanging out with this boyfriend. I've seen that before. I have seen girls like that. It doesn't end well, okay? Because it never ends up working out with the boyfriend, and then they're left with no friends on top of it, and you're like, girly. Then the parents start hanging out together with the kids, and I'm like, pump the brakes. Pump the brakes. You're 14. What's going on? Okay, so that was my first thing. We're not even at the texting yet. Then the kids talk about how much they're on their phones. Okay? You're 14 years old. I get it. You're in high school, whatever. There needs to be some sort of guideline or boundary. Like, okay, I'm sorry. Your daughter is 14 years old, only hanging out with her boyfriend, doesn't really have many girlfriends, and is on her phone all day long. And you think that's going to end well? Now, as we move on, we realize that the parents aren't all there, for lack of a better term. And maybe that's why this was allowed. Like, the parents weren't even healed themselves. But I just put myself in that position, and I'm like, I'm sorry. Like, you don't need to be with your boyfriend 24/7 at 14 years old. You need to be hanging out with the girlies. You need to be going to the mall, go to the movies, go out to dinner, go on a walk, join a sports team. Like, we got to be doing more than just hanging out with our boyfriends and texting all day long. Okay? Then the unknown number texts start rolling in. And it's a little scary off the bat. The if you haven't seen it, the 14-year-old girl, Lauren, and you know what? I need to find out the boy's name because this is going to bother me, and my earring just fell out. Okay, 1 second. Okay, we're back, and I ditched the earring. Sorry if you were loving that look. Earrings with the sweatpants. Okay, anyway, so his name is Owen. So Lauren and Owen, they're the couple. They're 14 years old. Okay. So a text rolls into one of them, and it's like kind of creepy. It's like, hey, I think it went to Lauren first, and it was like, hey, just so you know, Owen hates your guts. This is not direct quotes, but it might as well be. Owen hates your guts, and you should probably break up with him, and you're a loser, and you should off yourself, and yeah, you're a bit of a skank, and you have no friends, and it just goes on and on and on, and you're like, whoa, 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 whoa. Now, this doesn't all come at once. It's like every day, every so many hours, weeks and months and years. And I'm sorry. Who the hell lets it go on that long? First off, it's a cell phone. Okay, we got to remember this, guys. It's a cell phone. All right? It is not the end-all, be-all. What you do is you pick the phone up and you throw it in the creek. And you never answer another one of those unknown texts again. Okay? Now, knowing what we know now, even if Lauren got a new phone, I'll get to that. Even if Lauren got a new phone, this probably would have kept happening. Owen, on the other hand, I'm sorry. Now, I am going to give the family a little bit of the benefit of the doubt because this was filmed years ago. It also happened years prior to that. By the time they sit down, they probably have talked about it a million times. The emotion from it is probably a little gone. Like they're not as heated as maybe they once were, and we weren't a part of it back then. But even the way they're recapping it, like, I'm just like, is everyone just like victim to this? Like, oh, the phone says I'm a loser. I guess it's true. I guess I'm going to open these every single day and go to school and worry and be up at all hours of the night and just keep looking at the unknown tech. No, I'm telling you. First off, why do we keep going to the high school principal? That wasn't doing anything for this. The high school principal pulls up on the surveillance camera. Okay, I'm going to pay attention to when the text messages came in on Lauren and Owen's phone, and then I'm going to watch the surveillance footage and see which students in this school that goes K to 12, which student is on their phone at that time, and then I'm going to call each of those students in and question them. Waste of time. Absolute waste of time. 1-800-FBI, get them in the school and figure this out. The way it's like, oh, and then we watched the tapes and we couldn't figure it out, and then we brought this family in and then this one, and then the text just kept coming and we did not know what to do. Cell phone, hammer, see ya. I'm not reading another one of those texts again, okay? And also, here's part of the problem. Lauren ain't got no friends to lean on because she's been hanging out with Owen for 10 years of her 14-year life, and now Owen's also a victim, so what the heck? What the heck? They only have each other and their parents. Meanwhile, spoiler, big spoiler, we find out Lauren's mom was the one calling her daughter a skank, telling her Owen doesn't like her, off yourself, all these horrible things. It was the mom the whole time. Also, I wouldn't have guessed it was the mom. Okay, just because of how involved the mom was in the investigation, and she sat down to do an interview with Netflix, and like I feel like you don't usually get to hear the actual perpetrator side of the story. But knowing what I know now, taking one look at the mom and her body language and her demeanor, yeah, that sounds like a woman who would do that to her daughter. Yep, yeah, that looks like a woman who would do that to her daughter. It really does. The other thing, like, I don't know, it was just such a giant waste of time on everyone's part. Like, then you got the police officer who printed out every single text message and is reading it in this giant binder. First off, who's sitting there reading every single text? They got repetitive after a while. Someone is texting this girl saying she's a horrible person. I don't know how many times you need to read that in the binder. The FBI could have had this done in seconds. And guess what they did? They were like, hold on, hold my beer. Yeah, it's the mom. Okay, another thing. The mom hadn't been working for years, and the family has no money and has had to move homes, 3 times? And the dad never said, hey, I'm going to need to see your statements, and I'm going to need to see why the money and the bills aren't adding up. Oh, that's 'cause you've been laid off for about a year or 2, and you never said anything. Also, your daughter's getting harassed, and you tell the police, hey, make sure you get my wife's second cell phone when you're seizing some of her property. Hold up. What do you mean you know your wife has a second cell phone and your daughter's being harassed and you've moved homes 2 times and you guys don't have money, and not to mention the amount of liquor that was on that coffee table in this trailer? Okay? And listen, I'm not judging that they live in a trailer. It's just the fact that that amount of alcohol in a trailer, honey, it barely fits. That's how much they could have been running a full-blown wine and spirits out of that trailer. That's how much alcohol was in it. Okay? Just putting that into context. The other thing, the police come in. The mom's acting like a weirdo. First off, stand up straight and lift your head up. Okay? What's with the slouch McGee and the neck down? I'm like, girl, stand up straight. If you really want to own it, own it. Anyway, the police get to the house. We see the body cam footage. They start explaining. I felt like the police did not, the FBI, sorry. I felt like the FBI did not do that great of a job explaining to Lauren, her mom, or the dad what was going on. Because I'm telling you, if I was the FBI agent sitting in that kitchen, I would have said, Lauren, listen up, okay? Your mom has been sending those text messages. Your mom wants to hurt you. Your mom hates you. I felt like they were using like police terminology and like kind of like beating around the bush. Then the mom's like hugging Lauren when they find out the news. The mom's like acting like she's finding this out and she's just as much of a victim. Like, girl, why are you acting shocked and why are you hugging Lauren? The same Lauren that you said she should end her life. It was so bizarre. Even when the dad came in, I'm like, the dad is like not angry enough for me. Anyway, then Lauren, like they flash to another interview of Lauren and it's like, I miss my mom. I want to see my mom. Oh, also another thing. Did anyone notice when Lauren and her mom are communicating while the mom is in prison? She sends an email to Lauren that says, hey, like, I noticed you didn't say I love you before you hung up the phone. First off, sweetheart, if I were Lauren, I would never say love you again a day in my life. Okay? Second off, you're a weirdo for holding on to that. Lauren didn't say love you and you're going to send her an email calling her out. She's like, you made me kind of sad because you didn't say I love you. Well, you made me kind of sad when you told me I shouldn't be on this earth anymore. Okay? How about that? Like, I feel like the mom needs to be sent away somewhere. I'm sorry. The mom needs to be sent away. And I do believe that Netflix probably asked the mom in the interview, like, did you have any trauma growing up? Is that where this is all stemming from? And then the mom kind of like was like, yeah, you know what? I think that I did have some trauma and like clung to that. I don't know. We need to look into that a little bit. I'm sorry. But it's just not enough for me. It's really not enough for me. I hope Lauren's in therapy. Lauren, if you're watching the pod, I hope you're in therapy. I hope you're spending time with your dad. He really seems to care about you. He kicked your mom out immediately when he found out the news. Let's get someone who can handle the bills a little bit because there's some holes in that whole situation. But other than that, I hope you guys are doing all right. Owen, on the other hand, I don't know. I don't know what to think of Owen. He then started getting the text messages when he started dating someone new and then like put up with it all over again. I'm like, oh my God, guys, like, come on. I don't know. And again, I'm not in the situation. Who am I to judge? Whatever, but just not how I would have handled it. What else? Oh, another thing I want to say, they must have paid Lauren's mom a ton of money to do that interview or she's that messed up, which honestly, sorry if the shoe fits, but for her to sit there and explain everything she did, and then also trying to get off like, I didn't send the first 2 texts, I just sent the thousands and thousands of others. So just so you guys know, I didn't start this, I finished it. As if that was going to make her look any better. We don't care. That case is not even, you can't even use that as part of your case anymore, girl. But, they had to have waved a fat check in front of her because even the interviewer was like not flat out saying like, why did you text your daughter that? She was like, so Lauren received text messages that said X, Y, and Z. I'm like, guys, you should say to her, why did you feel that was a good idea to send your daughter those horrific text messages? But then again, from the eyes of the interviewer, as being someone in journalism myself, I was like, maybe the interviewer did not want to rattle the mom, and then she gets annoyed, and then she leaves, and then they lost their person. Can you imagine being the journalist that like loses the mom in the whole documentary? Like without the mom, I mean, the mom made the documentary, obviously. I mean, she made the documentary. She sent the text, which made the documentary. But just having her in there was even more of a shock value to the viewers. Now, I can sit here and say all day long, they should have done it this way, they should have done it that way, but then there'd be no episode, there'd be no documentary. It just would not be as frustrating yet enjoyable to watch if things were handled properly. Like, that's what makes a good documentary, that's what makes good TV. People not handling things correctly. Anyway, so if you haven't watched that, I mean, I just summed it up for you, but it is really good. It's really good, so I recommend. Okay, the other thing that's been swirling around is the Phillies Karen. Have you guys seen this? So I don't know all the baseball details, but essentially I think there was a home run and the ball ended up going into the stands during the Phillies game. Don't even ask me who they were playing. Don't even ask me if they won. But the ball went into the stands, and a fan, who they're calling Philly Karen, tried to catch the ball and dropped it. It slipped through her hand. Something happened, okay? Now, she was a couple seats down from a dad and his kids. And it looked like there was like a big gap between them. So the mom drops the ball, Sorry, not the mom. This Philly Karen drops the ball, and the dad walks over to where the woman is sitting and picks the ball up and walks it back to his son. Okay. So online, everyone's saying, like, how dare this woman... Oh, okay. Okay, sorry, I skipped a part. Okay, he walks it over to his son. Karen then walks over to the family and starts screaming at them, whatever. She's caught on camera. I think she may have even been put on the Jumbotron. Nobody's safe with the Jumbotron these days, okay? Did we not learn this? So she's put on the Jumbotron, and now she's made into memes. There's a Halloween costume. I think she's on T-shirts. It's become a thing, as the United States does and as the internet does. Okay. I think the consensus is that the dad should have been allowed to pick the ball up and give it to his son, and the woman should have just accepted that. Okay. Now here's the thing. I know I'm not going to go with the masses on this one. Shocker. I feel that the dad should have picked the ball up and handed it to the woman. Okay? She clearly was in possession of it, dropped it. I got to watch the video back. So if I watch this back after the episode and I'm wrong, I'll apologize next week. But she drops the ball. It's by her feet. This dad goes into her section, picks it up, gives it to his son. I don't know. I feel like it was hers. Okay, I do. And I think he should have picked it up and helped her and given it to her. Just because your son's in the row, I don't know if it needs to be a guarantee that it's always the child that gets the baseball. Now, you can let me know if you think I'm wrong. That's fine. Now, here's where I agree with everyone. The way she handled that situation is what got her the issue. That's what I think. I think her going over to the family then and screaming over a baseball. It's a baseball. Screaming at the family only for the dad to just be here, take the ball and leave us alone. That's why I think this should have taken off, because she was clearly a nut job and acting like a Karen. But I think everyone else is just no, she dropped it. It's not hers anymore. I don't know. I just feel like it was in her section, but she she lost her case with that because of the way she handled the situation. I think she should have just let it go. Who cares? I'm almost praying she was a little intoxicated, so then maybe we could chalk it up as that. But I don't know. I want to hear everyone's thoughts. Let me know in the comments. I know you will. Okay, so I don't even know. I didn't want to start the episode off with this because I always want to talk about feelings and advice and how I'm doing and maybe things that I've learned that help me to help you. And I just felt I was feeling a little heavy today. Okay. Not weight wise, emotion wise. And I'm I'm not going to start the episode with that. I'll end with it. And then we can do a little positive twist on it or something. We'll see. I've been really good about doing the whole something wonderful is going to happen today and looking for something wonderful. Now, sometimes I fall off the wagon and I'll forget to do it one day. And I can feel it when I forget to do it. I can feel when I am not doing my routines, my gratefulness, my prayers, looking for the positives. And it is so easy to relapse with negativity. It really, really is. And it really gets you in such a funk. And it's hard to get out of, but the more you do it, the easier it is, okay? And that's me sending a message to myself. So I'm giving myself a little grace. I'm coming off of a vacation, jumping back into work. I'm going to be 30 in 2 weeks. And I don't know, just a lot is happening all at once. And I think I'm feeling a little overwhelmed, if I'm being honest. Yes, I think 30 is seriously going to be the best year yet. And I'm so excited to enter a new era. And I've been doing all this work on myself. But I would be lying if I said it didn't feel like a piece of my childhood is am I getting a little emotional? A little bit of my childhood self is going away. Okay? And I'm so excited. I really am so excited. And I've been doing a ton of work on myself so that I can enter 30 as the best version of me. And I am excited. Ultimately I am, but it is, I am having a couple days where I'm like, what is happening? Why do I feel like life is over? And I know it's not the case. I know that these are just intrusive thoughts in my head. And I feel like I'm not a kid anymore. And like, now I've been an adult since I was 18, but like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just like, I feel like I'm entering a new stage. Like, this is like completely new territory. It's a little scary. And then I was like thinking about it, and I was talking to one of my friends, and she was like, you're not losing anything. Everything is an addition onto the blessings you already have. And that made me feel a lot better. Like, this was like right before I sat down for this podcast, so I really haven't had a ton of time to process that. But like, I was thinking about it, and I'm like, I have such a good life, and anything that's going to happen from this point forward is just a bonus on top of the good life I already live. And I was kind of looking at it through the lens of, you're shedding your old self, and like, she's dead now, and like, I know, dramatic, she's dead, and like, you're not a baby anymore. I think there also is a part of me that like, it is so much more comfortable to stay where you are and to continue doing habits that you have, and even if they're not good for you, it's so much easier. Like, if it wasn't, everyone would just be the best version of themselves all the time. And I was thinking back to when I used to live up in the Wilkes-Barre, Scranton area, and it was one of my like first real jobs, and like, I moved away from home, and I grew so much as a person up there. Like, and COVID hit, it was a whole thing. Oh, and then I started dating Dylan. So like, I remember, you know, when I moved up there, that felt like old me was dying and a new me was starting. And it's the transition periods are so difficult. And, you know, we go on social media, and it's so easy to see like people just up and move, and they move into their new apartments, and they're giving us a tour, and they're showing us all the furniture they bought. And like, nobody talks about how big of a jump it is to go from living at home and being with your parents 24/7 and maybe your siblings. And then you're in an empty apartment by yourself. And then you get past that hurdle. And you start making the space your own, and you start coming up with your own routines, and you learn about yourself, and you get past that hurdle. And you're like, okay, I did it. I feel good. And then I'm talking, obviously this is just what happened for me. I then started dating Dylan. Now I have a boyfriend. I hadn't had a boyfriend in years. Okay, now I'm introducing this new character in my life, and I'm living on my own. And now I'm trying to integrate him and his life into my life and my family's life. And that's a bit of a transition in itself too. And it's like, just as I start getting comfortable with the apartment, then this starts happening. And obviously, I know, it's a blessing, but these are things I don't think people talk about. It can be challenging. And it's not just like you start dating someone and that's it. It's like there's dynamics, and there's personalities that you got to work around, and you got to talk about things. And so like, then we got past that. Then I got a new job, and I was moving back to the area that I had originally left. So now it's flip-flop. I'm like, oh my God. And I knew I needed to make that change for myself. I knew I can't stay at this job anymore, even though I love the people, and it was so devastating. Like, I seriously was so sad for a while. But obviously on my Instagram, you're seeing me being like, I'm so excited, I'm starting a new job. And like, yeah, that is true. I'm not lying, but I'm not telling you everything. And that's why this podcast is so important. That, yeah, it was upsetting. And I didn't want to leave the space that I had. And Dylan was still living up there. So now I'm leaving my boyfriend. And it's like, and then I was moving back home. And it's such a blessing to move back home, but that's a transition in itself too. And it's like, now I'm reintegrating my routines into my parents' routines, something that I had just moved away from 2 years prior. And it's like, like you're just all over the place. Then I move out again. That's where I live now. Anyway, that was long-winded, but like, there's just so many things that like happen in life that I don't think people talk about. And everyone is just faking it till they make it. And that is a great way to be. Like, it is good to fake it. But I do think it is important to talk these things out, because I don't want you guys to watch my stuff or look at my pictures and videos and whatever and just think, why don't I feel that way when I move into a new space or when I start a new job? And like, Why does it seem like nobody's anxious ever? Or we are, okay? We are. It's, and if you're not, count your blessings. But like, yeah, we're human. We're human beings. Like these are big steps we're taking. Now, I've also met people who don't do anything to change themselves. They don't leave the job that they hate. They don't work on things they want to work on. And yeah, while it's easy to stay that way, what's hard is staying in a space that you know you shouldn't have stayed in. So it really comes down to choose your hard. My hard has been right now, here and now. Well, any job I've ever switched has been hard. Okay. But then it becomes good after that. Like the blessings on blessings on blessings that come from that. I'm like, you end up so proud of yourself. Like, thank God I chose better for myself and moved on and kept growing and all these things. And right now, how I'm feeling is I'm shedding so much of my habits and things that aren't serving me, ways of thinking, the way I interact with people, just things that are pulling me down, and I don't want it anymore. And it's weird because I'm like, I don't miss her, but I am like, I miss the comfortability of her. And that this has been like a little bit of a tough, I don't know, it kind of all just like came to a halt this week, and it could also just be like the birthday of it all and like whatever. But that's just how I'm feeling. And it's not easy to talk about. Listen, I could come on here and just pretend everything is sunshine and rainbows and I'm cracking jokes and all these things, but like, I just want to be real, okay? Because if we're going to be talking too much, this is part of the much, okay? So anyway, I just feel like I'm shedding parts of me that I don't want anymore, and it's a little sad because I'm like letting them go, but I also know that the blessings that are going to come from that are bigger and better, and I feel like this shift in me, and God really does put us through these moments and these like hurdles because he knows we're ready for them. And as annoying as it was for this to like start hitting me, there's a part of me that's like, God, I got this. I know you trust me. You would just keep me where I was at if you didn't think I was ready. And that's a blessing in itself. And I really am grateful. Like, even though I was just getting a little choked up there, I am very grateful for it. And I'm proud of myself because I'm pushing myself to be better and be more positive and speak differently and whatever. But yeah, I just would be lying if I said it was easy. And on the days where I do relapse with like my emotions and like I start getting negative again and like I beat myself up and I'm like, girl, like, didn't we just talk about that? And it's like, that is not a healthy way to be. Because trust me, if I was talking to my younger self and she was beating herself up, I'd be like, please don't talk to her like that. So just something to keep in mind. Like, we're all going to have those days where, you're working so hard on yourself and like, maybe the negativity takes over one day and you just marinate in it and you're like, I'm just going to be miserable and I'm going to be angry and I don't even care. And you just kind of throw it out the window for the day, but then we got to get back on the horse. Okay. And this is me getting back on the horse. I don't know. I know that probably was a whirlwind of me to share, but I'm kind of glad it comes across like a whirlwind because that's what's going on up here. It's a whirlwind, but it's a great, wonderful blessing of a whirlwind. Anyway, okay, it is. I'm going to end on a good note. Like, even though these transitions are difficult and stepping into a new version of yourself and a new job or a new place that you live or whatever, it can be the hardest thing in the moment, but the growth that comes on the other side of that is so much bigger than what you're feeling right now. And I also just want to end with like, it is such a blessing to make it to the age 30. There's so many people in this world who can't say that. And people have lost loved ones who didn't make it to 30 and would kill to be in this spot. So I just want to make it the best year yet. I don't want to lie and act like it's all sunshine and rainbows, but I do know that the sunshine and rainbows are on the other side of this. So anyway, this is a talking too much first. I hope you love it. I just think it's relatable. I think that took a lot for me. So please recognize that. Please pat me on the back for crying. Anyway, guys, so I'm going to end you with that. If you're feeling some sort of way. And I do want to start doing advice segments on here. Like I said that when this first started, and I just kind of wanted to get my feet wet with things. But like, I would love nothing more than to talk out situations with people, even if it's one a week that I talk about at the end of the episode. I'm going to start sharing that on my socials. I would love to talk people through what they're feeling, and just because I have so many great friends and family members that give such good advice that like, I want to be that for other people as well, because I have my people that I lean on, and like, I want to be that for you. So start submitting things. I'm sure it could help me. It could help everybody listening. We could really make this such a great space where we have fun and we laugh and we cry and we grow. And it's just, I can't wait to see where life takes me and takes everybody else. And, yeah, the next time I do this episode, I will not be 30. So that was all for nothing. No, I'm kidding. But I still have 2 weeks, a week and a half, something like that. So no, not this episode. But so we have a little bit of time. We have some time. We're going to enjoy being 29. And then we're going to welcome 30 with open arms. Okay? Anyway, guys, thanks so much for watching. Let's talk too much again next week. Bye.